So there are some expats, for example, when they get terminated by their employer, um, what will happen to their visa after that?
So since the visa is dependent on your work here in the Philippines, then that actually invalidates your visa. But if you get terminated, then please make sure to downgrade your visa as well. So this is what happens when you actually convert to a visa. We call it a conversion. So every foreigner who comes here gets a 9A tourist visa.
Yeah.
So once you apply for a different visa, say a 9G, it's called a conversion to a 9G visa. And then once you are basically not working here anymore, you have to downgrade that visa to avoid any complications when, for example, you want to come back to the Philippines, you want to apply for another visa. So this will avoid all the complications. So
also, I mean, they cannot use that same visa to apply for another company.
No, because the visa is actually attached to the company that they applied
Oh,
for.
I see. Yeah.
So this is also a common thing where expats are like, oh, if I get a working visa here, can I use it to apply to another job?
Yeah.
That's not possible because in your alien employment permit from the Department of Labor, it's actually written there where you're working.
Oh,
so
I
it
see.
cannot be that you use the same visa while working for another company.
So they really need to downgrade their visa.
Downgrade and then reapply again to another 9G visa using the new company that you are working for.
Okay. So you mean if they downgrade their visa, they can apply to another company again?
Yes. Well, the 9G visa is actually the longest visa that you can process. Yeah. It's one of the longest visa that you actually process, which is kind of fair because when we work abroad, right, it's also a fairly long process to us to even get a working visa.
Yeah.
So I think by doing that, it gives fairness because for them, it's so easy to come to our country. But for us, it's so hard to go to Western countries.
Yeah, that is true.
Because of the amount of requirements that Filipinos have to actually comply with.
They also have an idea why is it, for example, Europeans, Americans, they can come to the Philippines without applying for a visa first in their country, right? So they arrive, visa on arrival. Is it something like that? Visa on arrival. But why Filipinos, we need to apply for a visa when they can come to our country without visa?
Well, I think it's because if this is a reality, right?
Okay.
A lot of Filipinos go to other countries to look for,
greener pastures.
Right? And so, and the danger with that is a lot of us are human trafficked. A lot of us get stuck with agencies that actually take away the passport. So I think it's just the government protecting us from getting into that, right? And for foreigners that come here, well, of course, I think economically it makes sense because they have a lot more purchasing power and spending money to spend here, and also the investment opportunities, which is actually may or may not be the same for us going into the country.
Yeah,
I mean,
that is true. Yeah,
we are really good with labor. We're one of the, I don't know if we're one of the biggest, but we're known to be one of the most hardworking OFWs or overseas workers in the world. But I think the government is just trying to protect us in a way by not being trapped in a country. There's so many or fellow men who are in another country that are doing black jobs.
That is true. Yeah.
Which is also very risky for us. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they also say that because Filipinos are naive, they said.
Yeah.
And it's like very vulnerable, very naive. And so when we go to other country, they know that they can exploit Filipinos, that they get the passport, they don't give it back, and then they're gonna exploit them like that.
Yeah,
that's true.
I also think it's because we were colonized so many times that we kind of have this colonial mentality.
Yeah.
Wherein, we think everything abroad is like amazing.
Yeah.
We'll get a better life
Yeah,
abroad,
that's
and
true.
then you go there and you don't really have the proper documentation, and then you're suffering already. Right? So there's actually a lot of opportunities in the Philippines, and I hope our fellow men actually realize that you can earn the same money you're earning abroad here in the Philippines.
That is actually the reason why a lot of foreigners they said, I don't understand why Filipinos go abroad to work. Why can't they see the opportunities in the Philippines?
Yeah.
Foreigners go to the Philippines to invest and to make money.
Exactly.
The Chinese, the Indians, all of these foreigners come here. Why are you in the Philippines? Why do you make business in the Philippines? Because the money's in the Philippines, they will say.
Yeah, exactly. That's the good thing about being a developing country, right? There's a lot of opportunities. And, me being a business owner, they always ask me, oh, you'll probably fit in the West, you'll earn a lot of money. And then I'm always like, but why? a lot of foreigners come here to make money. Why can't I when I'm from here?
Yeah,
right?
that is true. How about for SRRV?
The SRRV, or the Special Resident Retirees Visa, there's actually a couple of types. So the most common one is the SRRV Classic. So
okay.
SRRV Classic is basically, there's two different types. It's with pension and without pension. So with pension, the deposit is 10,000 USD.
Okay.
Without pension, the deposit is 20,000 USD.
Okay.
So but these deposits, you can actually convert it into an investment of either a purchase of a condominium or a long-term lease of a house and lot. So you get a permanent visa, and then you can then use that investment to invest on property here in the Philippines. So either condominium or long-term lease of a house and lot. So that's the SRRV Classic.
Okay. For the with pension, 10K USD.
With pension, 10K USD. Without pension, it's 20,000
20K.
USD.
Oh.
And then the most common one also, if you are a veteran or if you have served in the military, you have an honorable discharge.
Okay.
Or we call this DD-214 for US veterans. The deposit is only 1,500 USD. And you can already get permanent residency here in the Philippines.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where do they need to deposit that?
With an accredited bank with the Philippine Retirement Authority. Yeah.
1,000?
1,500 USD. Yeah. Then you get permanent residency here in the Philippines.
If they are retired?
Not necessarily retired.
Okay.
As long as they served in the military.
Okay.
Yeah, as long as they served in the military and they're also receiving pension, either from the military, from public pension, Social Security, or a private pension. So as long as those two are met, then you can apply for the SRRV Expanded Courtesy.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's so easy for them.
It's so easy. So if you're in your 40s, go serve in the military. So that when you're in your 50s, you can apply for
1,000.
the SRE Expanded Courtesy. Yeah. And there's actually a lot of them that are coming here to the Philippines, like ex-veterans, because we used to have like this agreement between the US and the Philippines, right?
Yeah.
Which is why we have Clark Air Base, where U.S. military used to be based, and so that's why a lot of them are coming here to the Philippines. Yeah.
So that's the main reason why. This is because it's easier for them.
Yeah, exactly.
I was not aware. 1,500 compared to the 20K.
Yeah.
Without pension, and then 10K with pension. So with that one as well, the 10K or the 20K, they need to deposit it with the bank that is accredited by the
Philippine Retirement Authority.
Okay.
Yeah. And then one thing is you need to be over 50 to get the SRRV.
All of those types of SRRV visas, you need 50.
Over 50.
Okay.
Yes.
We also have like tourist visa service, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any clients who experience like overstaying or like really like did they have any problem with their tourist visa? Because tourist visa is like it's the most basic, it's the easiest one to obtain, right?
Yeah. So I've had a lot of experience with people who have overstayed. Please don't do this.
What is the consequences?
You get blacklisted or you get excluded in coming to the Philippines, which means you either cannot come back, or you can get deported.
Oh.
Yeah. So I've had a client who has overstayed for X amount of years, and sometimes a lot of them are just scared, so they just like go in hiding and then not mention to anyone that they've actually overstayed.
Okay.
What you have to do with this is you have to file a motion for reconsideration.
Okay.
So this motion, you actually have to submit this with the Bureau of Immigration. You have to lay out why you overstayed in the Philippines, and it has to be acceptable because you need this MR to be approved. It could go in two ways.
Yeah, okay.
Either it's approved and you're given 120 days to find a more permanent visa.
Okay.
Or you get an order to leave where you have to leave the country. But the thing is you can come back.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are the two things that could happen. So please, if you've overstayed in the Philippines, please process your motion for reconsideration. We can actually help with this. And don't like let it fester for a long time because it can get worse for you. So part of the payments that you actually need to do is, number one is 25,000 pesos in arrears, 10,000 pesos in express lane fee, and around 1,830 per month of overstay. So I had a client who overstayed for 10 years and it was
They have
ridiculous.
to pay that?
They have to pay that, all of that. Yeah.
So he was able to
Yes, so it was really bad because this client, his passport expired. He's
What
overstayed.
happened? Why did he overstay? Why he doesn't have any? He doesn't have time to like process.
I think I can't really say the details, but
Okay,
he ran out of money basically.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and then he figured out a way to get back that money, and then he was just scared to go to the authorities because he didn't know what to do. He was getting mixed information.
And then he doesn't want to go back to his country.
He doesn't want to go back to his country because he's made Philippines his home.
Okay.
Yeah, so that person now has fixed his visa, and he now has a permanent visa here in the Philippines.
Oh, nice. And you guys are the one who helped him.
Yes, we're the ones who helped him. Yeah.
You really fight for him.
Yeah, I've done this for such a long time that we really try to find ways.
You mentioned earlier that there are if their reason is acceptable, then they can get approved for like another kind of visa for the motion. What was that?
Motion for reconsideration. Yeah, so there's 120 days, and within that 120 days, you have to figure out to get another permanent visa.
Okay. So what are the acceptable reasons for them to get approved and not be deported?
It depends. So that person, he ran out of money. There was another guy who basically was in the hospital for a while. So again, he ran out of money. A lot of them just run out of money and cannot really leave the Philippines.
What if I got scammed by my Filipino partner? I ran out of money.
Those are actually valid reasons, but just don't let it don't wait so long to get this fixed.
Okay.
Because you can actually get help from your embassy.